Thank you, sir. Respected sir, Joshi ma'am, and other dignitaries who are gathered here. I am quite honored to have got opportunity to speak and open my heart and mind. Since I am a student of literature, so I am going to talk about literary perspective that stories put forward and we understand. My topic is stories matter. When I heard about this seminar, at that time I was very curious what to write and how to write. At that time, there came an idea in my mind that, book I had heard about, Volga se Ganga. It means from Volga to Ganga. And it is collection of 20 stories. 20 stories covering around 8,000 years. And all stories, have some kind of, you can say, construct, idea that will disclose the heart of the time, heart of the, time and history. So, and I went through all these stories, and one story that, captivated my mind was, that is Prabha. It is a little longer, and it tells the story of two people, Prabha and Ashwaghosh. Perhaps we have heard about Ashwaghosh. Ashwaghosh, a literary personality who created many epics and books around 50 AD. And that very story, what is happening in this story, there is a writer behind these two characters. He is trying to he is trying to create an argument. He is trying to open the society of that time. And when he is trying to open all these nuances, all these ideas, all these thoughts, at that time he is putting forward arguments, making a comparison between the certain sections of the society. What I mean to tell, that stories stand like everlasting power, immortal power. And if we study today anything about Ram, about Ishamashi, about Krishna, about Lord Buddha, we are somewhere, we learn something from this story. And through this story, Prabha, he is trying to, build the same idea. How many, can anyone, tell me that he has studied any single story of Volga to Ganga? Yeah, yes. Professor Sir has just raised his hand and he told that yes, he has studied. Oh, okay, that is quite good word. So, telling a story means telling an idea, what he tells. Prabha and Ashwaghosh, these two people meet at a swimming spot. And the story is set in Ayodhya, Saket. The story is set in Saket, Ayodhya in 50 AD. Both meet at a, you can say, swimming spot. Both get, attracted to each other. And in the argument, what happens that Prabha is a Yaman girl. She is just Unani girl. And Ashwaghosh, from a typical Brahmanistic family. His family always desires him to marry a typical Brahmin. But he caricatures, he, recreates the idea of, you can say, society and the personality, a creative personality. He selects Prabha saying that you might have been called Chandal, you might have been called, you can say, untouchable by Brahmins, but I don't feel that Brahmins, their ideology is perfect. Because somewhere, those ideologies have some loopholes. And they cannot, Brahmins, what they say and what they live, both are different things. He exposes the hypocrisies. He exposes the, you can say, dualities, double-facetedness of the Brahmanistic society. And then he selects Prabha. Beyond any doubt, both walk on the sand of, on the bank of Saryu River, and they observe the moonlight. And that very moonlight is the, is the symbolic creation of castelessness and a kind of equilibrium that human society need. They talk, they discuss religion, and in that very, you can say, discussion, there is a, there are some lines I would, read out in Hindi. और तुमने कह दिया मुझे ब्राह्मणों के पाखंडों से अपार घृणा है, घृणा से सारा गात्र जलता है। एक और वह कहते हैं कि हम वेद शास्त्र को मानते हैं, मैंने बड़े परिश्रम और श्रद्धा से उनकी सारी विद्याएं पढ़ी, किंतु वह क्या मानते हैं मुझे तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आता। शायद वह केवल अपने स्वार्थ को मानते हैं, जब किसी को उनके पुराने ऋषियों के वचनों से निकाल कर दिखलाया तो कहते हैं इसका आजकल रिवाज नहीं है। If what rishis have said, what Vedas have written, sometimes Brahmins even deny that. Why? Because they are somewhere self-centered. What is useful to them at the present time is truth. And what is not truth. They believe in utilitarianism. Even the principles that have been, you can say, founded by all these Vedas and, scriptures, somewhere they deny them. So this is, this is the idea created by Rahul Sankrityayan ji, Mahapandit Rahul Sankrityayan ji, because somewhere he is establishing what is the impartial truth, what is truth beyond doubt. He is raising voice to found real voice. So that is what he said. यदि पुराने वेद मर्यादा को किसी ने तोड़ा तभी नया रिवाज चला। कायर, डरपोक, स्वार्थी ऐसे ही को ही कहते हैं, बस इन्हें मोटे बछड़ों का मांस और भूयसी दक्षिणा चाहिए। इवन देयर इज अ, यू कैन से, हाँ, यवन, शक, आभीर, दूसरे देशों से आई जातियों को भी इन्होंने क्षत्रिय राजपूत मान लिया, बिकॉज दे वर्शिप्ड पावर। They worshipped power. If someone is powerful, then he is carrying truth. So that is what. Then there is a discussion about the, about Buddhism and its philosophy. And there is an analogy of raft that, several scholars have referred from since the morning. So throughout the story, what is happening? Throughout the story, there is a essence of new argument, rationality, and you can say so that society can be crystal clear, history can be crystal clear. That we feel, doubt. Sometimes we feel doubt over the history. So he is creating that argument so that history can be very much, transparent. What happens at the end? Both Prabha and Ashwaghosh walk near the Saryu River, on the bank of Saryu River, and they talk about suicide. They talk about suicide. Prabha at the end she is oblivion. She is in oblivion. She has gone by writing a letter that I am sacrificing my life so that Ashwagosha, the creativity of Ashwagosha can remain permanent, can live through the time, and he can create more and more books. He can, he can create more and more books. He can write stories. From Rahul Sankrityayan to Ashwaghosh, what we study just the creating the stories. And those stories seep through our bodies. And when they seep through our bodies, we live them in different span of time. In different ways, we reinterpret them. So this is what is happening in this story. At the end of the story, Ashwaghosa decides that he will keep and maintain the ideals that Prabha wanted him to keep. He will write stories and he will not rest till he has achieved, his aim. So that is what, in this story. At the end, I'll not take too much time. I was just sitting there in the chair, and at that time I was thinking just like Rahul Sankrityayan. I cannot think like him, but yet there was some lines came in my mind. Just I'll recite and end my argument. That is, मैं खोजता हूँ गुम संस्कृत और शक्ति के पीछे का रहस्य. These are the lines, perhaps, a creative mind like Rahul Sankrityayan ji. मैं खोजता हूँ गुम संस्कृत और शक्ति के पीछे का रहस्य, जो बात करते हैं किताबों में लिखे गए शब्दों से. सत्य ऐसे नहीं जाने दूंगा, मैं घुमक्कड़ हूँ. सत्य ऐसे नहीं जाने दूंगा, मैं घुमक्कड़ हूँ. मैं ऐसे ही घूमता रहूँगा आरंभ से अंत तक. मैं ऐसे ही घूमता रहूँगा आरंभ से अंत तक. That's all.